Tribute to the Zansets, Part 6. Toussaint Louverture was born around 1743 and was originally named Francois Dominique Toussaint. Now, there are some interesting parallels between the account of Toussaint Louverture's life and Francois Macadam's life. First, they were both named at birth Francois, which is French for freeman. Now, according to the account of Toussaint Louverture's life, his father was a African prisoner of war who was then sold into slavery into Saint-Domingue, which is similar to the account of Francois Macandal, if you recall, that he was a Mourabit scholar who was fighting in a war and then was captured and then sold into slavery. Similar, not the same. Now, Toussaint Louverture was educated. As a child, he learned to read and write in French and Haitian Creole. So growing up, he was given access to books and he was, schooled. And if you recall, Francois Macandal was fluent in both Arabic and French. Toussaint Louverture's father taught him the use of traditional medicine. So both can brew potions, powders, oils, and skilled in a multitude of other arts. Before becoming a coachman for his master, Toussaint Louverture herded livestock, just like Francois Macandal after his accident, right, working on the sugar mills, he then was made to herd livestock. By age 35, he was free and working on purchasing his own property. Now, the Haitian Revolution began August 21st. Well, some accounts say the 22nd, right? But I was brought up and told that it was the 21st, right? So August 21st, 1791. And from the account which I read, Toussaint Louverture was reluctant to join in the fight, in the beginning. But eventually he did join, and because of his leadership abilities and his dedication, he was then promoted. By the year 1793, he then added the name Louverture, right, which is French for opening. But see, as I'm sounding it out, right, it sounds like it's two words, right? Open hole, right? Louverture, right? Because I'm guessing it's like ouvert is Creole, ouvert, and tout, right? So Louverture. So it sounds like open hole. And he gained this name, right, because of his ability to find holes and also his ability to create holes in enemy lines. Oh yeah, another thing that I wanted to draw your attention to, right, about between Toussaint Louverture and Francois Macandal. You notice how they were both at one point slaves, but their lives took different paths. Right? Francois Macandal escaped into nature, into the wilderness. Toussaint Louverture was freed and went to purchase property. They're seen as father figures of the Haitian Revolution, like inverses. Both are freedom fighters, right? But just their paths, the trajectories was different. One returns into nature and the other one remains in civilization. Something to meditate on, for the practitioners. In 1793, the War of Pyrenees took place between France and Spain, and the fighting took place in the Pyrenees, Toulon, and at sea. And this is an example of, Toussaint Louverture being called Louverture, right? Creating an opening. He formulates an alliance with the Spanish, right, on the other side of the island. The following year, in 1794, the French abolished slavery in the French colonies. So then when this happens, Toussaint Louverture aligns himself with the French military, and they drive back the British and the Spanish from attempting to take control of the island. And through a series of political maneuvers and power grabs, Toussaint Louverture ended up gaining control of the whole island. Right? And then he sought to gain French support for his authority. In an 1801 constitution, Toussaint Louverture named himself as the leader for life for a free, autonomous, multiracial Saint-Domingue. So by now, France is under Napoleon Bonaparte. And I've read two different accounts, right? One account states that he sent forces over, but to talk to Toussaint Louverture and to convince him to come back to France, right, so that he could negotiate the terms of Haiti's liberation, and that he was tricked and then imprisoned until he died. But this account here states that Napoleon sent a large force to apprehend Toussaint Louverture and to restore slavery in Saint-Domingue. And after many weeks of fighting, General Clerc managed to capture Toussaint Louverture and deported him to the French Alps. And this is where he spent the rest of his life. In 1802, Napoleon reinstated slavery in all French colonies. And these colonies were Saint Domingue, Martinique, and Louisiana. This concludes this portion of the tribute to the Zansets. I got another 2 parts left, so I'll catch you on the other side. Y'all be easy.